Hello everyone, welcome to the Crazy Faizishow show. With us today we have the special guest who is a triathlete swimming coach, a trainer, a fitness consultant and a mother of two kids. Manisha Khungar with us, the superwoman with us, so mostly known as the superwoman of NCR whenever I'm meeting people and the triathletes. So thank you so much for your time, Manisha.
Thank you for having me, Faizi. I'm happy to be here.
And when I was reading through your all the articles and the interviews, so how did this whole journey start?
So I have to say I've been an avid sportsman from the age of 4 or 5. I was a competitive swimmer and a track and field runner. And as life goes on, you go to college and then you have children, marry, so on and so forth. Something that stuck with me throughout these years was sports. So the only thing that changed was the format and the way I did it and the things that I indulged in. Mostly I can say that my indulgement is sports and fitness activities. So I took it with me throughout my life. It's helped me through a lot of ages and phases, and I guess I got lucky because it's been good for me.
And how, as you mentioned that you have been doing it since so long. So how was your childhood? What was the starting time when you realized that you have your heart into sports, or you love running, you love swimming? So when was that time, and where was your childhood?
So I grew up in different countries. We moved every 4 years. I think I started competitive swimming around the age of 5 or 6. I was in Canada. And I wasn't a happy kid that time because it was so competitive, and we had to train so hard. But having said that, like I said, every country that I moved from Canada, I went to Trinidad, which is in the West Indies. I spent a little time in India, some time in Iraq. Iraq is where actually I started my endurance journey, and that was the place that I ran my first 42K. I was in high school and I didn't know what to do with my time, and I was introduced to running, long distance running, with one of my school teachers, and she said, come along, this is a good way to spend your time. And so endurance running, endurance swimming became one of my biggest loves, and whenever I had the time I would just do it, which was pretty much every day. And as I took through and through my journey, I started to coach swimming very young as well, because I was good at it and I wanted to share. And it was from sharing it became a passion to train and to coach. So I started coaching very young. I started coaching swim at the age of 21 or 22, and I've been coaching ever since. I haven't taken a year off yet. Yeah.
Wow. So from starting from childhood till now, we have seen you as the race director of the triathlons, where I must tell you, I was in the crew of the swimming, where the swimming competition was going on. So it felt very nice. So when we talk from that stage, from your childhood till now, so how have you seen yourself growing, and which are the mentors that you have followed? Because so many people are your mentees. You're known as the mentor of NCR. So which are the mentors did you follow, and how have you seen your growth from childhood now being the race director?
Okay, so I'll cut to the chase from the childhood. I'll start when I was in my 20s and I started to coach. I think a lot of what I do for the fitness space, I'm also a CrossFit certified instructor and a running coach and so on. I think a lot of what I do is just sharing my passion, and the benefits of being fit is where I stem from. So when you say, do I have mentors? I follow a lot of athletes, say Tommy Rivs or swimmers, and I just follow them online. I don't really have a relationship. I do remember my swim coach from when I was 6 years old, Anselm, and I guess he was the only one. But a lot of my journey and how I've lived through this journey has been to give back what sport has given to me. And I know that if I stick with that a lot of the work that that I eventually end up doing is good and wholesome, and I feel proud of what I've done. So I really don't. It's really not something that I do. It's something how I live. So being a mentor to people or giving back to the community is something that comes very naturally to me. And I think my joy of giving back is more about sharing the benefits I have had with other people. Yeah. So yeah, now being race director, and I guess that comes with age. You've been around a long time. Eventually you have to stop being that kid around the block and then that, that competitive athlete. It comes with age. I always think it comes with age, because having 35, 37 years of experience doing something, something's got to give. And I guess it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Yeah.
So I have seen many triathletes talking about you, how you have mentored them in their hero's journey, and few of them has written that I didn't know swimming, and just because of faith of Coach Manisha, I learned swimming and I was able to do my first Ironman, and later on I continued. And this is what that's written in their autobiographies as well. So when we talk about your hero's journey, when was your time that you crossed your first threshold and you went into the dense jungle?
For triathlon specifically?
Triathlon or in life?
In life. So,
yeah.
Okay, so this is, I'll answer this in a personal way actually. So I had a lot of, my spirit was very strong towards sports. And somewhere along the line, my two girls were growing up and my marriage was coming to an end. And when I crossed that line, I saw a big change come about me, because I literally was a warrior for myself, a warrior, a healer, a teammate for them, and also because I was still a coach and I was still responsible for so many people and their outcomes, and I feel very responsible when I take on someone. Literally, they call me, like mummy or something like that, because it's very emotional for me to make someone move from point A to point B. So definitely for triathlon, India is not a place where people swim. So swimming is a big challenge. There are not that many coaches that do outdoor swimming. So I guess I got lucky, and I was able to share, and I was able to teach, and I was able to bring about the change in my trainees. That way I feel fortunate. But when I left all of that behind, the marriage, the things I was doing, it kind of just happened very, very organically. Triathlon came into being into India, and I got an opportunity to fill a very empty space of being a coach. And I think I don't have any single trainee till date. Maybe a couple that I don't talk to, but I pretty much follow them through their lives, and we're still in touch, 8 years later. And now they're married with children, and I'm coaching their children. And so it's been very fulfilling for me. Yeah. So yeah, that's the time I pretty much crossed over. That answers your question.
Wow. And what have been the phases where your love for sports have provided you the back for your personal problems at times?
Every single day. I mean, goddamn, every single day I wake up and I do what I like doing. I give myself that hour and a half of whether it's a run or a workout or a swim or just movement on a mat, and I'm ready to take on the day. And I have something very interesting to share. I was going back to corporate work after 16 years of running my own business. I was an entrepreneur, and coming back to corporate after 15 years, a woman in COVID times trying to look for work. The gentleman that hired me at that time said, this woman runs 100 kilometers, so she doesn't take no for an answer, and that's why I'm hiring her. So that really showed me that people actually value a lot of what you do, for yourself, and the life that you lead, the discipline, the go-gettedness, the sharing, the camaraderie, the teamwork, all of that comes into play at your workplace for sure.
So I've seen your life. It is like you have a day job at Plastica University as a corporate in the corporate partnerships, and then you're a trainer as well. You're a fitness consultant, and you're a swimming coach, and then you are a mother of 2 kids. You're single mother of 2 kids, and motherhood is a different journey altogether. And then you have your own individuality as well, being Manisha. And so how do you handle this all? I mean, this whole work-life balance, because I feel it sometimes with my life that it gets a little hard to balance it all. So how do you manage it?
Yeah, so I have to say that It's a good question because I go to a lot of corporates and give talks about work-life balance, pretty much promoting fitness to make it part of your life despite whatever else is going around you. And when I say fitness, it doesn't necessarily mean exercise. It means doing something towards a healthy life. I have to say that being a mom is my proudest achievement. I have one that's turning 23, two girls, and one who's just turned 18. They are my pride and joy, and we work like a team. So everybody supports everybody. Of course, I'm considered the worker ant in a lot of places. People think, oh, she's always on the move, she's always got this high energy. It doesn't always work well for me, but that's my personality. I like to take on things very quickly, and I deep dive into things as well. So motherhood aside, I just do everything with my girls. I consult them, they advise me, on my work, on my personal life, on my professional life. I have taken so many ad hoc decisions. I have quit a job in a week when we needed the money desperately because my older one felt I shouldn't do it because it's not suiting me, etc. So the girls aside, I keep my 9 to 5 very separate, but a lot of what I do has a lot to do with who I am. So that doesn't change. And I think somewhere along the line I've managed to navigate that whole work-life balance situation. I have the morning to myself. I coach in the evenings, or I coach in the morning and have the evening to myself. And I work pretty much in compartments. And I'm still coaching. I coach fitness, I coach swimming, I coach running, later in the day, and I work. And if I have a meeting at night, I just manage. Yeah. And yeah, so it seems like retirement's a far cry away for me. So yeah.
And then in the end, you're found with a selfie with your coffee mug in the lift.
Yes, yes. And if that doesn't happen with my coffee mug in the lift, people ask me, where are you? Where are you? Are you not good today? So yeah, that also happens. That also happens.
As a sports industry, especially when it comes to swimming, it's pretty much till now it was known as a male-dominated industry. So what were the difficulties that you faced because of the gender?
So I have to say, swimming is not much explored in India. The kids go up till their national levels and then it's just all gone. It's not a recreational sport. It is something that I feel that I'm encouraging a lot of people to take on, except that of course we don't have the facilities and also the mindset as well. To give you an example, I'll get a lot of asks in the year. I have to go to Goa, I need to learn swimming. My children are complaining I don't know how to swim. I only stand at the pool. When I'm on vacation, it looks so bad, I need to swim. So these are all the triggers that are making people swim. Whereas I feel it's something that everyone should know how to do. It is something that's imperative because you don't want to be in a place of water and be struggling. Having said that, triathlon came to India and there was this big gap where people all of a sudden wanted to swim. For the longest time, I was coaching younger children and adults who reached out to me specifically just for recreational sport. Also, when you coach triathletes, eventually they've done an Ehrmann or they've done something that's very tough. So there is I have to say there's an ego attached to it. It's a tough sport and there's an ego attached to it. When those people keep coming back to you, I did have to navigate a lot of side remarks, comments, my personal life being, nobody said stuff to my face, but things did happen, things did come around, and I pretty much put on blinders. And because I know how to do this is my thing. I've been coaching for 35 years. I would just be like, you know what, just go do what you're doing and just have faith in what you're doing. And eventually all those people will stop talking. And I think eventually that's what happened. But it was not an easy path. There's a lot that shook my ground in terms of what people would say. And I had 2 young girls at that time, and I was single. So there was a lot thrown my way, a lot thrown at them as well. But we just kind of just did our thing, and I stuck through it. It's fine now. It's way better. So, yeah. Yeah.
And did it ever happen that they expected you to charge less as compared to the male instructors?
So I have So again, as swimming as a sport is not mature enough. So yes, a lot of the people that are already in the market and known, not necessarily great instructors, but have been around, are male. They do, but fortunately for me, I think I've managed to carve a little niche. I've managed to keep my quality, at par with myself, how I want to do my work. Whether I take less work, but I won't dilute the way I coach. So that has eventually landed me in a good spot. But yes, I don't know if I faced it. I just knew it was happening. So what can you do? Yeah, I just kind of stuck to my game, and now I'm able to do the work I want to do at the price that I want to do it at, and it's worked out for me. So, yeah.
Nice. And we see that you are the race director of the races and the triathlons. So, what goes in the homework behind it? Because finding a place where people could swim, sometimes it's a swimming pool, sometimes it's open waters. Because I think the Herculean race,
Yeah.
you are the swimming coach with the race.
Yeah.
So, what is the homework that goes behind that in keeping India as the country in mind?
So, a lot of the races, you need a swim director or a running director or a race director. So, if you know the sport, you need someone that can manage the whole situation. I recently got to be transition director at the Ehrmann Goa, which was very exciting for me because I had never managed a transition. But talking about what homework goes behind it for me is being able to take my swimmers or any other swimmers that need to get exposed to open waters. It's a big task. We wake up at 3:30 in the morning, we find a bed of water in Faridabad, we go there, we swim, we train. I always go with very, very strong safety guidelines. A very strong team goes with me, and I expose people to open water swimming. I'll tell you a very funny story about that, and I hope that they can translate it into their race. I don't get to know every time because I'm not at all the races, but yeah, I like to expose my trainees or whoever else needs to have that exposure for open water so that they're able to go out to their races. And very early in the day, I started to take my trainees for open water swimming, and you go to this big lake, which is 7 kilometers down, 4 kilometers across, and nobody knows how deep it is. And I was very proud of myself that I'm doing this. I also have life-saving techniques, so I do know how to save someone. But we go with safety buoys and everything. A lot of the athletes are 3 times my size, so it looks very also, intimidating to see someone so tired. How wo kaise bachayegi situation, And I was so proud of myself that I was doing this work, and it's hard work. It's like labor. So, so because you're walking and you're out there and you're there in the water. The first bunch that I took maybe 7-8 years ago, and I showed my mom, I was like, look, I took these guys and I trained them in open water, and she's like, who's going to save them? So I said, if something happened, I would have saved them. And she said, you can't save them. They're going to, they'll make you drown. So you should never save them. So she was giving me back talk, and she said, this is not your job. Your job is being a mother to your 2 children. And she dissuaded me from doing it. From then on, I stopped telling her, and she knows I'm still doing it. So yeah, so yeah, but she knows I'm still doing it. Yeah. So I think that's the thing in a nutshell. Yeah.
And swimming and training for ultra runs. So all of these things are pretty much based on the mental game. So your mental game is strong, we all know that. But how do you manage the mental game of your coachee?
Yeah. So
from someone who is a beginner and he comes to you, that has happened to many triathletes, that I want to do this Ironman, I just have 6 months with me, please teach me swimming, but I'm hydrophobic as well. So how did you train his mental game?
So I don't have a cutout. I don't have any, not one size fits all. And something I do regularly with all my trainees, and maybe that's why I have a good rapport with most of my trainees, is that I do a one-on-one counseling before they start with me. And literally through their entire, and I don't even want to call it a journey, through their entire training, I'm always WhatsApping, checking in. Even if they've stopped training with me and I know they're going for a race, I'll check in with them if they need any help with something that they need. So I'm always a phone call away. Sometimes before a race, my phone will start ringing. You want to say something? You want to say something? I'm like, no, they just need to have the faith. So a lot of one-on-one mentoring, a lot of staying in touch. I keep in touch with all my trainees, even at a personal level. And I think that's something that's really, really important. Something that a lot of people don't know is this soft side of coaching is more important than actually the workout you're getting on the app, because this is what gives them the courage. This is what gives them the motivations. Very often what's not being translated is your fear. And I'm not talking about swimming. I'm even talking about running. I'm even talking about lifting. A lot of what you translate is that thing in your head that's telling you, main kar paungi, nahi kar paungi. And if Manisha says, you've done the work, you can do it, or another coach says it, you know you can do it. And we all have that. We all have that. We just have to not live in that fear of doing it. Just go out and do it. But if someone tells you, somebody that knows the sport, before Ironman Goa, one of my trainees messages me at night and he says, Coach, what are you doing? I said, I didn't even say nothing. I said, let's have coffee in the morning. And he said, that is what I needed. That I knew that he was reaching out to me because he was maybe apprehensive, or maybe I knew that's what he needed. He needed a one-on-one little time with me to tell him, this is your plan, this is what you're going to do, and this is how you're going to close the race. So, yeah.
Okay. And training really helps to open up the mental blocks of people. So, has there been any case with you where you felt, okay, this was a pretty intense case and it took me longer than expected to train a coachee?
So I won't talk about swim because very often I'll have swimmers that have lasted long time with me. I'll talk about some. I also mentor. I mentor younger adults that are facing body image issues, whether they're too skinny or they're overweight. And I have to say, I had a lot during COVID, and there was this one girl who had kind of shut herself up in her room. There was a lot of personal crisis in their family, and she shut herself up in her room, and she had, of course, body image issues. And her mom reached out to me, and I have to say it took me a year of self-talk, talking to her, coaching her. She trained with me, and I have to say that was 3-4 years ago, and today she has her YouTube channel. She's promoting makeup, fashion. She's so self-confident. She's so proud of herself. I'm still in touch with her. Even if she's not messaging me, I see something her mother sends me and I'm like, I cannot believe this has happened. But it took a while. It took a while for her to, and it's not just me. There was me, there must have been mom, there must have been someone else, some friends. So it's never one person that's helping you on your journey to wherever you want to be at. It's also the people that are supporting you. My children have allowed me to take this path. My children, without them, I would not be who I am, So there's a lot of support that goes alongside any one person's, journey or fulfillment or getting there, whether it's your spouse supporting you through all those hourly, training sessions, and everybody has that, and you need that. Yeah.
And your life has been full of ups and downs, and still you have evolved as a winner always. So if I ask you to look at your life from the bird's eye view, so what kind of character is Manisha? How do you want to portray yourself, or how do you observe yourself as a character from a helicopter point of view?
So I'll say something because this is the feedback I get a lot, that, of course, me with my coffee, what is life without coffee? But bird's eye view, I have to say that people say that I smile a lot. It's not something I put on, because when I'm in the moment, that is the way I feel. If I'm not smiling, I'm probably locked up in my room somewhere. I feel that I like to live life as it is going. I've had a lot of challenges, but till the age of 40, 42, it was pretty decent. Mota, I had a great upbringing. I've had I've, beautiful girls. So all of that, and I feel that life, everybody has challenges. Mine might be different from yours. Fortunately, I have a certain skill set or a certain abundance of mental grit that helps me get through a lot of stuff that somebody else might not have. So I feel very, very fortunate. I am extremely grateful all the time. I don't say gratitude grateful, but I know what I have. I live very simply. I have very strong priorities in my life. My kids are my priority. My dad was ailing for many years with an illness. He was my priority. And everything else would just fall to the wayside. Work is a priority because it's necessary as well. But so from my angle, I'm someone who's very driven, very disciplined, always happy in the moment. I don't say that I don't have my challenges, I do, but I work through them with help or without. And you, as you know, you've been a runner, that sport brings a lot of positivity, a lot of grit to any human being. So, yeah. Cool. And of course, endorphins. So yeah.
And which are the books that you read? Because to give all those motivational talk and to motivate yourself in life, you might be reading some content or consuming some content in some way. So what are the books that you read, or the podcast that you listen to, or something that you watch?
So I have to say I was an avid reader for many years, but now you only said my life is so hectic. So when I open a book, I pretty much am falling off to sleep, but I have many books. And a lot of them have to do with sport now. A lot of them prior to maybe when I was raising my girls were all about child psychology. And because I like to do things with intent, I like to understand a lot of what I do. Suppose I'm coaching someone who's a golfer, but he needs fitness coaching, or coaching a cricketer who needs fitness coaching. I'll pick up a lot of books, or I'll find information online. And I think a lot of it is not just what is out there, like, motivational speakers and so on. A lot of there's very subliminal. It's just reading on how to approach a certain problem, finding a solution to it, how to live in the moment, how to find value in everything that you do, how to also live your life on the way you want to live it, and make those choices on a daily basis. And I think that kind of answers a lot of things for me regularly. I don't really have deep dive into stuff, but I do watch a lot of content which is sports related, and I do watch and listen to motivational podcasts. I do. Yeah.
Okay. And how you being a trainer has helped you become a better parent and helped you in parenting of both the kids?
Yeah, that's a good one. You should ask them. You should ask them. But I have to say, I wake up pretty much 5 days a week now. Both my girls are out, and they send their stuff on Instagram, and most of their stuff to me is how I'm the best mom in the world, or how they miss their mom, or they make jokes on me, and we all laugh together. And I think fitness, wellness, if you're feeling good about where you are at, all of that, like if you're feeling like you are productive, it's a big mental booster. You're feeling like you've helped someone, even better. You're feeling like you can do what you want to do. Wow, you've hit the jackpot. So imagine living that life day in and day out. I think that has pretty much got me to where I am as a parent. Raising two girls in an Indian environment, and I have to say Indian environment because it's not easy. I left my marriage, so there was a lot of taboo, a lot of people that do talk. So they also had to stand up for themselves. They also had to stand up for their mom. They also had to, block out things that people were saying. So it's not that it wasn't a challenge, but for me, and as they will say that if she hasn't been to the gym, just don't go around her. If she hasn't done her run, like it just brings me back to a happy space. And like I said, people that have found joy in movement are lucky, and I'm one of the lucky ones. So, yeah.
Brilliant. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you keep motivating the triathletes, the upcoming athletes, and help like continuously your help for the evolution of a triathlete. So all the very best, and in the end, I want you, if you want to convey some message to the audience.
Thank you, Faizi. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy that this show is coming alive and we're all getting to share our stories. I think the one thing that I did, and it's probably like I've said it twice or thrice, that if you can find something that really grounds you, or you find a happy place, trust your gut, stick to it, go for it. You'll always find people supporting you within that community. Find a community. Don't have a community, bloody build a community around it. I'm all for that, because whether it is single parents or runners or creative people in a space, I think that really helps you find your calling. And if you found something that you really like, life gets much easier. You're able to take care of a lot of stuff that happens along the way, which happens along the way for everybody. It's not just it's not unique to any one person. You have a calling. You can always go back and you find solace there. So yeah, and hire a coach. So you have to hire a coach. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much for your time, and all the very best, and keep motivating us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.